Hi Virgo, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the 15th through the 30th. So I'm going to be covering a 2-week period. I'm going to start with the astrology and some oracles, then go into a Celtic cross spread, then go into relationship reads. So I'm going to timestamp in the description box below like I always do. So you can pop around however you'd like. Okay, let's get right into the oracles. My name is Jackie. For those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome. And guys, remember, these messages are general. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. Don't try to make it fit. If it's not your reading, maybe we get you next time. But on the same note, it's very important to check your rising sun, moon sign, or Venus sign. It's very common that people from a month to month will resonate greater with one sign than another. That moon will often indicate what's going on not only within your emotional space, but also within your home. The sun will often indicate what's going on not only in your ego consciousness, but in your career. Okay, your rising sign indicates how you are approaching life, your general attitude day to day, your daily experience, and your Venus can indicate how you are showing up or handling some sort of situation regarding your self-esteem, money, and or relationships. So they're all really important to understand, right? If we want the most complete messages. Okay. So we have 4 things going on within this 2-week period that I think are, well, actually a few more things in that, but worth mentioning. Even though in the thumbnail I only mentioned the full moon in Pisces as well as Mercury retrograde. But on the 15th, Mars enters Libra in your 2nd house. And, you know, this is going to make you feel very proactive about making money, Virgo. I mean, seriously, like Mars rules over your 8th house of shared finances. So you might be motivated to make more money so that you can contribute more to either a relationship situation, a business situation, something like that. Some of you may even be motivated to start a new business, right? That's how for some of you can manifest there. If that is the case, guys, go for it. Really nice energy for that. Many of you are likely to be moved to completely, I know this seems kind of random, but completely clean out your closets and reset your wardrobe as a step in psychologically purging any blockages that you might be dealing with from the past, you know? That's that 8th house energy, right? And it's that desire to purge from the past is going to be, and Mars in there is like, come on, let's get the job done. Come on. Like, you know, this is from that relationship or from that situation. Get rid of it, right? We don't need it anymore. So a lot of you are going to be feeling very pushed to very much revamp everything, particularly because the sun is in your 1st house. That happens a lot when the sun is in our 1st house, right? All right, so that's starting off this time period for us. And then we're going to go into that full moon in Pisces. This is a very benefic full moon. It really is. And so it's going to be full moon in Pisces in your 7th house, conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And it's also going to be sextiling Pluto and Capricorn in your 5th house. So this is a significant indicator, Virgo, significant for many of you, where some sort of significant interpersonal relationship will likely be ending in your life. And that could be anything from a marriage partner, just an intimate partner, a close work connection, a really close friend, a really close family member. But there's this, you know, this ending, right? For many of you. Or you may be dealing with the culmination of a contractual obligation, right? Because the full moon is always about culmination. And in the same respect, having to do with that relationship, it's like something has gotten to the point where there is clear recognition that it's just not working. So it's and because it's in your 7th house, it's something that you're realizing that you're going to be motivating. Okay, so it's very worth mentioning that. Others of you, because the 7th house has to do with others and it's the house of mirroring, you may be dealing with an exciting culmination in the life of your partner or your significant other or somebody who's really close to you. And this could be very, very positive and healing for your relationship in general. So that's really nice. Now, something else that's going on, though, that makes this very special, I think, full moon. Besides Pisces, it's on the 30th, about 1 hour after the full moon hits, Mercury is going to be trining Jupiter at less than 1 degree. that is really beautiful. From a spiritual perspective, this means a super optimistic, generous, and more fortuitous vibe for everyone. It's available to everyone if we choose to take part in it, right? So this is really great for anything having to do with business, study, research, travel, planning, anything like that. And even for you guys, because of this is happening on that me versus we axis, that you versus other, the first house, seventh house axis, whatever is being swapped out, whatever's culminating, whatever's ending, there's going to be so much support. It's really beautiful. Now, so it's very strong for that reason, but it's also, Mercury is also conjunct the most fortunate of all the fixed stars, which is Spica. For those of you who know about the fixed stars, Mercury is conjunct Spica. And this is going to incite a lot of, I want to say, deeper thinking, ingenious thinking. It's really going to help you to tap into your faith a lot more easily, to just feel better about what you're doing, where you're going. This is a great energy to get along with people in positions of authority, particularly like you have this energy in your seventh house. So that's to do with contracts, any sort of contractual obligations. Getting along with people also in the way of, like, the seventh house is also your public. So for those of you who have a business, or if you have any sort of platform, that seventh house, those are your clients, right? That's your client energy. So really nice energy to get along with your clients. It could also help you to incite a position of authority that's going to help you to move ahead in your life, right? So this is nice, especially if you've been putting in the work with integrity. Really, really good work. Now, if you're dealing with another energy in this space where you feel like things have been kind of unfair, because that could be a shadow manifestation of Spica conjuncting Mercury, you're going to have the strength and the eyes to see right through them and call them on their stuff. So that's a really nice energy, actually. Okay, so that's what I wanted to mention as far as that goes. So let's get in. I'll mention the Venus and Scorpio opposing Uranus and the Mercury retrograde as we go along. But here we go. A new romantic cycle begins. Yeah, because look, I mean, that seventh house, that Pisces full moon conjunct Neptune, it's all coming to the surface. It's make or break time. So if something hasn't been working, not only are you going to be able to much more easily close something out, but if it has been super toxic, you're going to be able to almost immediately open yourself up to something new. Now, I say this, guys, obviously, I don't know you or your personal birth chart, and it's always important to understand how the current transits are speaking to your natal placements. That's what's really going to inform your exact experience. So I'm only speaking from the perspective of the general energy for the archetype of Virgo. And this is what I see. It's this new moon in Libra energy. A new romantic cycle begins. Now, on the 23rd, we have the Venus and Scorpio energy in your third house of communication, of siblings, of extended family, of neighbors, of learning. And that's going to be opposing Uranus and Taurus in your ninth house. And ninth house has to do with your belief system, negotiating, marketing, advertising, launching. So what can happen here, though, because Uranus, remember, wherever Uranus is, shocking surprises. And it depends what's going on, what else is going on in your chart, is going to inform, is it a gift or is it a challenge? No one knows. I certainly wouldn't hold myself to anything saying this is definitely going to happen, that's definitely going to happen, because with Uranus, you never know. But it can lead to a teaching position, because ninth house has to do with higher education, some sort of learning opportunity, you investing in your education. This could also indicate the transformation of an agreement or some kind of negotiation. This could be a sudden great success of the launch of a project, a great success having to do with a marketing or advertising campaign, but it can also be maybe things not going in your way, right? But it has to do with something that you weren't expecting. This could also indicate a surprising and positive offer from an in-law or even a sibling or extended family member, because ninth house is in-laws and third house is siblings. So something very shocking that comes up having to do with a family member for a lot of you, all right? So that has to do with that. That's that Venusian energy that's very deeply entrenched in you, right? But I do feel like for those of you who are nursing any sort of relationship energy, having to do whether intimacy or maybe a business partnership, this new romantic cycle, right? Again, very sort of, even if you look at it, it's very sort of justice energy with the scale, 7th house energy. It's going to bring healing. And then we have in the world, not of the world. Now, so for those of you who aren't really sure what that means, it's like really living life, not being of the world, getting caught up in all of the nonsense, right? All of the political craziness, the social media nonsense, all of that. It's because that's living of the world. You want to live in the world. You want to be a functional energy within it. You want to show up with integrity, and you want to be part of the cycle of doing good and bringing good, right? And being in life and not being outside of it, not keeping yourself closed off, not allowing yourself to work 27 hours a day, right? That's a very Virgo thing, as you guys are such hard workers, or anything like that. It's really putting in perspective an element of balance that's necessary. And it does seem like part of your ability to be a more functional member of your own life is you need to understand that it's time for something to go. So there's definitely this very Plutonian energy, this death energy, the swapping out of this need to transform, an ending that's going to bring some sort of new beginning. It does seem like this. Believe in the impossible, the blue moon, right? This is a very Uranus energy too, right? What is it, blue moon? Oh no, it'll never happen. Then boom, right? Something happens. It's very Uranus energy, right? Which is working opposite Venus right now. And then we have sexual arts. Oh my gosh. And I shuffle these so much, actually in the same exact position, same spread, same line. Well, this is the only one that came out the same, was Leo. So I don't know if you're dealing with Leo energy at all. But we have believe in the impossible, sexual arts, the sacred fool, which means trying something different, and higher power. So it does seem like there's got to be something addressed in the area of intimacy, vulnerability. Now you say, well, what does that have to do with career? If I'm resonating with this, is that the ability to actually open yourself up to take a chance, make yourself vulnerable and available to make mistakes. Things don't have to be perfect, right? You guys are so hard on yourselves, Virgo. Like, let that go a little bit. You can let it go a little bit. Because sexual arts doesn't only mean, it was sexual arts, not only sex. It's what is an art? What does the art part mean? It means the ability, the gift, the talent to be able to open yourself up and be vulnerable, be exposed. Because that's where the greatest element of emotion is experienced, right? It absolutely is. So really allowing yourself to open up and do something very, very different. The Fool is all about new. New. So if you're in a relationship and you guys, you've been together forever, no one's going anywhere, but you're in a really tricky stage of your relationship, the Fool can show up as you just needing to do things differently than before. And I'm certain that part of that has to do with being more in touch with the idea of vulnerability and allowing yourself to be exposed, to be seen, and to not be hiding behind any sort of fear or any sort of feeling of lack or feeling of small or feeling anything like that. Because somebody else is driving your car right now. It does seem like that. You're getting help from the other side. If it's not spirit, maybe it's somebody who's passed over, who has your back on the other side. But there's a healing. This is very serendipitous. I feel like it's very destiny driven, what's ever happening for you here. Look at this. You are good enough. Speaking of, where you allow yourself to maybe stay small, right? Is people always say Virgo is such a critical energy. No one is more critical on a Virgo than Virgo, right? You just are. That's what I always say. It's like you say that Virgo, you have to be critical the way you are. We need you to be like that because you guys are the problem solvers of the zodiac. You guys are all about being of service in order to help the rest of us, right? I mean, it really is about that. You are good enough. Pay attention to the signs, though, and follow your own rhythm. Message in the bottle. All right. So there's some sort of message that's going to be coming to you right now. And the fact that the sun is in your 12th house, that does not surprise me, my friends, at all, because the sun, wherever it falls in your chart, that's the part of your chart that's lit up. So even though we have all this other stuff going on, which is great, it's all good, That sun is lighting up the 12th house of the subconscious. It's Neptune rules the 12th house. Neptune dissolves things. This is also where you're going to be recognizing where you may be self-sabotage, where you get in your own way, where you keep yourself too small, where you limit yourself, where you sacrifice yourself, where you shouldn't. All of that's going to be very highlighted. And all of that is message in the bottle is very 12th house energy. This is the subconscious energy coming up. Following your own rhythm is very much about get in touch with the Aquarius within you. And what's interesting, funny enough, is that the moon rules your because for you guys Virgo, the sun rules your 12th house. Let me be very clear on that, right? I mean, the sun right now, right, as we speak, is in the first house, right, of you guys, right? But the sun rules your 12th house in Leo. That's what I meant by that. The same way as the moon rules Cancer in your 11th house, which is the home of Aquarius. So what I like about this is getting in touch with your emotions, getting in touch with what it is that you really want to bring to your life, and start small. Figure out like your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, having to do with relationship, having to do with work, taking it kind of like piecemeal in that way. And figuring out what you have to do, because again, pay attention to the signs. We have higher power, a lot of serendipitous situations, lots of signs are coming to you. You just have to pay attention. But the first and foremost, they're coming from your subconscious. So don't be surprised if those of you you remember a dream and you remember a random weird little part of it, and you make a connection, and you end up having an epiphany about something that you want to get into, or you're suddenly just for some reason memories of a particular project, job, person is flooding back to you like it was just yesterday, even if it was years ago. These are all examples of what can go on here, and you have to look at what are you feeling around that energy, and that needs to be looked at a little more closely, right? Because we are all going to be revisiting things right now, right? On the 27th, Mercury is going to station retrograde in Libra in your second house, and the thing here is, right, this Mercury rules your first house, first of all, in your chart, and your 10th house, which can equal for some of you, this can equal delay of your pay, right? And because there might be some sort of situation coming up having to do with career or anything like that, you are likely to be in a space of reevaluating whether your current career is worth it or not. Are you even happy? This could also represent a reassessment of your long-term commitments, right? As I was mentioning before, you might be reevaluating your sense of self-worth. And what I mean by that is, like, are you being paid for what you're worth in your job? Are you being treated the right way in your relationship? Are you happy? And you're going to be revisiting a lot of this. So guys, this can, because of the houses that this is hitting you in, this can actually apply to any part of your life and every part of your life at the same time. But I do want to say, if you're in a space where maybe you've asked for a raise in the past and you didn't get it, it didn't go maybe so great for you the last time around, go for it again. Make sure you have very sort of in your mind ready to go why you're deserving, if that ends up coming to the conversation. But this is a very positive energy for you to establish your sense of self-worth, that you know what you're worth, and for you to push that forth regarding money, regarding possessions, regarding how you're being treated in relationship across the board. Okay, so good energy for you guys there. Let's pull a general Celtic cross spread. See what comes up. So this could be for, again, this is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, for any area of your life. And then after this, we'll go into relationship. And we'll end with those of you in separation, as I mentioned before. Wow. Okay, you're over it. Something. Something you're very over. So this is a necessary surrender. But the Tower is Mars, and Mars is that warrior planet who comes in and is just like very focused on, it's an energy of self-esteem as well. It's an energy of initiation. of wanting a fresh path, a new perspective, because there's recognition that something that you've been involved in up to this point has not been working out for you. It's not meant to last. Even if it feels like a sudden fall apart, if it feels kind of sudden, it's probably not that sudden if you sit down and honestly think about it, because the Tower means there's a history here, and Mars gives us the red flags, and it's so easy to ignore the red flags when we want to, right? Because it's icky, those red flags, right? They're uncomfortable, but it does seem like you are ready to just move out or past something. Now remember, the Tower in numerology is the Chariot, and the Chariot is about moving away from something that's been toxic, but it's very swiftly. So there's change, there's progress, there's determination away from something that wasn't working towards your metaphorical home space. So let's see what the challenge is, though, with this Tower. Is the Emperor, okay, which is that Aries energy. All right, let's pull the rest of the cards. We have the basis, we have the past, we have the current situation, near future, the advice, energy external to you, your overall challenge, and the final outcomes. The Three of Wands going in a different direction. Okay, so let's see what is challenging this Tower energy is this Emperor. So the Emperor is about taking ownership, being the boss of your own life. So, and when it shows up as a challenge, some of you may be feeling just very impassioned by what it is that you do for a living. You actually feel really stifled. Even if your money's okay, you're just not feeling very passionate about it. You very much want it to be over, and you want it to leave. You want to leave, but it's like you don't have anything better, like right there. So a lot of you could be in that space of, I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to leave. Others of you, some of you maybe ended something because you were dealing with a narcissistic energy, somebody who is power hungry, who again, narcissistic tendencies can be indicated here, or at least somebody who's domineering, who will say and do anything to get their own way, a lot of egotism, crossing boundaries, that kind of thing. So that could be like that challenge created a kind of situation where you had to get out of that job, that relationship, whatever it was. It's like, I can't do this anymore, that kind of thing. And then finally, for others of you, it could be that something has ended and it's done, right? It's done. Something has, reached its culmination, probably something having to do with that 7th house energy. If it's not relationship, friendship, some sort of close relationship, some sort of contract, but you're having a hard time moving on past it. Right? And what I mean by that is figuring it out, having a definitive path, because the Emperor is very decided, right? It's very confident energy. So you might not be feeling very confident, and you might not have it all figured out just yet. Now, coming into this energy, you were in a space of really wanting to take care of yourself, your body, your mind, your soul, your finances, all of that, right? Some of you may have been married. Some of you may have been in a space where you were working on maybe having a baby, opening a business together. If it had to do with relationships, something like that, this could be the influence of the Queen of Coins energy. In the same way, this could also be indicative that you were dealing with somebody who in the past was very reliable and very supportive and very affectionate, very generous, but then suddenly something happened where they changed, right? So depending on your particular situation, those are the different ways that it could manifest. The basis here is the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is you wanting to be very, very much, first of all, be a free spirit. But there's this energy of high standard here, right? You want to express yourself. You want to go after what you want having to do with this situation. But the idea of perfectionism is in the way. So whether it's you feeling like somebody else needs to be very perfect, or them expecting you to be perfect, where you're at least vibing that. But it really is this kind of thing where nobody's perfect, so everybody needs to calm down, right? You may have a real issue with somebody, the way they communicate, the way they relate to you, the way they do A, B, and C in whatever situation it is. You may have a lot of very valid points, but it may simply be the way that person is, or they may be like that with you. Oh, Virgo, you're so A, B, and C, whatever it is. It was just like that very picky kind of energy. And you really kind of, the Six of Cups energy is really like, okay, this is Sun and Scorpio energy. You really want to balance something here. You really do. You're feeling very nostalgic about something in the past. This could have to do with right now you may be in the, well, of course Mercury is retrograde. We're all sort of feeling that way, right? Returning, but you might want to be going back to either reconcile with a relationship, but it doesn't have to be that, and reconnect with somebody from the past, or it could simply be reconciling something within your space emotionally right now. And I could see you guys doing that just because of so much of what's going on in your chart right now is reconciling your past, right? But you're very focused on finding balance in a situation that you're involved in. So whether it's a work situation, relationship, it doesn't matter. And if you've suffered mistreatment or somebody has suffered mistreatment at your hand, there's this desire from you to want to remedy it. It does seem like. The advice here is the star. So the star always does indicate things being better after a difficult time. So if this has to do with a relationship, it's recognizing and understanding that if you're single, it's time to find a soulmate. If you're dealing with a relationship, you're probably destined to be with this person, or at least it was not by accident, right? Lots of lessons if it's a soulmate energy here. If this has to do more with career or money luck, recognizing that the work that you've been doing begins to pay off. So don't give up on something. It's because you've worked at it. You've considered your long-term goals. You've prioritized well. So some of you may be in this space, as I mentioned a few moments ago with the astrology, you might be guided to begin a new business or find that you have a hidden talent that you could put to some good use now and make some money on, right? But this can show your star rising, you getting more recognition in whatever it is that you're involved in right now. So recognize that. The energy open to you, available from an external source, is the Ace of Cups, which is great. So this could be falling in love with somebody new. This could be a new job offer coming in. This could be finding out from somebody that they're pregnant, right? That maybe you're with a partner who's pregnant, or there's some sort of pregnancy involved. For some of you, this could just indicate something coming to fruition that you've been working on with somebody else. So maybe if you've been working on a project, them reaching out to you saying, hey, guess what? We got funding, or I found a place for us to open that business, or whatever it is, right? But it's a nice energy. But what is your challenge? Your challenge is Nine of Cups. You're having a hard time feeling happy right now, Virgo. This is your block. And this is a very psychological energy, and this is about happiness and feeling more connected to your own heart. And when you feel that, you grow, right? As a person, you're having a hard time with that. I'm feeling I'm feeling a visual of things just sort of being like just a little bit off center for you. It's not that nothing's going on. A lot's going on. A lot of opportunities are surrounding you. Things by all external eyes may be like, oh, things are going okay for Virgo. But you're feeling unsettled. And an issue, and I mention this a lot in my videos, that Virgos end up dealing with. Again, it does depend on what else is aspecting your chart, but it's kind of like a running joke, which really isn't so funny. Like, Virgo, like, how often do people ever ask you how you're doing? Probably hardly ever. Unless you're dealing with another Virgo or somebody who knows about astrology to know, please, ask Virgo how they're doing. Because, you guys always seem like you have your act together, right? But it's this lack of recognition. So because Virgo energy typically takes a long time for them to be recognized in the workplace at the level that they should. It takes a long time for them to get recognized within relationship at the level that they should. It takes a long time for them to be recognized even by friends and family a lot of times to the extent that they should. They get shortchanged a lot. It's just, And the reason for that is way beyond this video, but it's real. It's real for people who have strong Virgo placements. Now, in the near future, we have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands, Mars and Leo energy. So you're going to be dealing with some obstacles, but you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to get over whatever is handed to you just fine, as long as you recognize that your morality and your personal philosophy is really important, not only to you, but for you to hold on to. So you might even feel like you're in a space of needing to defend a group of people. So maybe not even only you, maybe other workers or other people within the family. Many of you can manifest, because it can show up like that. But it's you defending yourself, and it's also you drawing a line in the sand and saying, okay, I can make this concession, but I'm not doing that. I'll do this, but I'm not doing that. Like that now, no. Now you're getting a little out of hand. You know what I mean? Like that. But you're definitely drawing a line in the sand, and you're becoming a lot more deliberate about balance and about wanting to get your just due. Now, we have the Three of Wands as your final outcome energy, which is really a good card. This is a Sun in Aries energy, and it's a good fortune card. It does represent a thriving business, a very busy, intense period in your life. This is an indicator for a really important partnership. For some of you, this could even indicate a wedding, moving on to realize your plans. Some of you may be dealing with some sort of situation or person which is unconventional. So, and whatever that means to you, that's a very subjective term, right? So it's whatever is unconventional for you. So if it's a relationship, somebody may be outside of what you would normally go for. Maybe a different culture, maybe a different arrangement within the relationship. If it has to do with work, something that you never would have thought of doing. And again, remember where you have that Uranus energy, right? In Taurus in that 9th house. So there could be some sort of like out of nowhere negotiation for some sort of position or something like that, right? Balance is very important to hold on to right now, but this is no time to hide your fabulous. Like, put it all out on display. This is a really good energy. And you know what, too, about the Three of Wands? You can't really see it in this card, but in most cards, you can kind of see the side of her face. But this literally is turning your back on the past. Like, not allowing the past to dictate your future and just say, full speed ahead and moving forward. That's it. Fresh path, new perspective. Focus on that. Sun, focus, Aries, new path. So that's what I see for that. All right, so let's get into relationship for our Virgo friends. So I'm going to pull a past, present, future, and outcome energy for you with a qualifier, and then we're going to do the same for an energy that you may be dealing with. It's sort of like a baby version of the he said, she said, like the we spread that I did last time. Okay, starting out with the Devil, a little imbalance, figuring out a different way of handling the situation, new beginning, and then we have the Tower. Clarifying, Page, Two of Swords. Okay. Okay, careful that somebody's not giving you lip service right now. Virgo, I feel like your spidey senses are turned way up, and I'm just going to be validating something you may be vibing already here. But let's go back to the recent past. Coming into this energy for you, we have the Devil being clarified by the Page of Pentacles. So let's talk about this Devil energy. In numerology, the Devil is the Lover's energy, which is a Gemini, and it's about dealing with imbalance and shackling and any sort of behavior that's not serving the relationship. So this could have to do with, I know you could be struggling with, or you, maybe the person that you were dealing with or that you are dealing with in relationship is struggling with some sort of either addiction, narcissistic tendencies. It could be anything from, and when I say addiction, it could be to substances, to money, to gambling, to sex, to shopping, to an eating disorder, having a hard time regulating their personality, anything that you could think of that would end up throwing off the balance in a relationship is really this, right? And if we connect it to the Lover's energy, it really is about saying, okay, we have imbalance here. We have stuff. We have to figure out together that we're going to work at this together and figure out how to make this work, how to make it happen. But we can only do that if we're both in it together at the same time, because if we're not, there's no way that we're going to be able to do it. And when we have this with the Page of Pentacles, this is understanding that it's going to take a lot of hard work. It really is. But the energy is available for progression and for an auspicious new beginning here regarding this connection, if the balance can be had. Now, some of you may have been dealing with the Devil energy in the past, and you're all about getting into a new space and relationship. That's, some of you are like that, where it's like, nope, that's done. I'm ready for somebody new, right? Now, the energy that you were dealing with, it does seem like you were dealing with somebody who had commitment issues, or that you are dealing with somebody with commitment issues, right? In case I said were, in case for those of you who are single right now. But some of you may be dealing with someone who is confused, who is not sure how they're feeling. They're not sure what's real, what's not. Do they feel this way, that way? They kind of feel up in the air with their feelings. And it's almost because, though, because it's a Venus and Scorpio energy, so it's almost like being afraid of what's on the other side. So there's a lot of fear here, even though they felt in the recent past that you guys were at the beginning stages of something, but that beginning stage might have been really scary for them, because it might be like, okay, we're getting more serious, or okay, I'm not sure if I like the direction that this is going in, and that ends up inciting some confusion, and then that's being clarified by the Emperor. And the Emperor is Aries, and Aries is can be a very dug in energy, right? Because it's the baby of the zodiac. I want what I want, the way I want it, when I want it. So there could be this kind of thing where you were dealing with somebody who didn't really want to commit, and they weren't willing to give you what it was that you were actually looking for in the relationship, right, up in the recent past. And that could have definitely created some discord within the relationship, absolutely. Others of you, they were at a point of confusion, but they wanted to come in and they wanted to talk about stuff. They wanted to come in and talk about future plans and practical matters, and address all that kind of stuff in your relationship. Yet they were still in this level of, in this space of indecision, really. They wanted to talk about things, but the 100% commitment you didn't feel like was there. And that was, I don't feel like that was making you feel very uncomfortable. Why they were feeling that, it could have to do with the devil energy. Maybe it came up for you because you were the one who's dealing with some sort of imbalance, or you were feeling the imbalance because of them. Right? And it was that indecision and that lack of balance here, right, in the Seven of Cups, was kind of reflective of the devil energy. So then we have right now, you're in this space, Four of Swords, of taking a time out, stepping back for perspective. Maybe doing a little bit of shadow work. Maybe some of you have started therapy. This is an excellent energy to start therapy in. Really great to figure out a better strategy for moving forward regarding this situation that's going on in the relationship, or to at least just figure out a different strategy altogether, and how to handle your level of confusion, right? Because with the Two of Swords clarifying it, this is a Moon and Libra energy, so it's time to think, because you're in this emotional stalemate and you need to make a decision, and you might want to protect yourself, but this situation's not going away. So you're really better off resolving it now, even though you're in this space of taking a time out. Make sure that you don't allow yourself to procrastinate about it, right? Because this situation's not going away. So you're better off just standing your ground, saying what you think, because you do have to make a decision about the future. But the thing is, this is where they are. And the Seven of Swords, I don't feel like they're being very honest with you, Virgo. I'm keeping it real. It's the Moon in Aquarius. So let's just go on the positive side. Moon rules our emotions. Aquarius is out of the box. It's different than what I'm showing you, right? So maybe they're feeling a little indecisive still, right? Going back to that Seven of Cups energy, but they're not verbalizing it to you. It's like they might be talking about the future and saying that they really want to be happy and all of this, but I feel like they're not telling you the full story, the full truth. There's something that's being hidden. I don't know if it's another relationship, if it's something from their past, or if it's their true feelings. But there's something going on and you are vibing it. They are not getting away. I mean, energetically, you're feeling it. So let's look in the near future. So we have the Ace of Cups and the Six of Wands. Very interesting. Let me just see here. Ace of Swords and the King of Wands. Very interesting. There's the Ace of Cups, nice energy. This could indicate a new relationship for those of you who are maybe single. But for those of you in relationship, this is actually strong love and support. For some of you, this can indicate fertility and pregnancy. For others of you, yes, this could be falling in love initially. This could also indicate that something that you guys have been working on in the relationship that matters a lot to you comes to fruition. And with the Six of Wands, this is a great energy as well, because this is about feelings being shared and being well received, very positive communication coming in, that ends up leading to like a deepening of a connection, right? So just very, very nice energy here. And that's where you're at. So some of you, I mean, if you're single and you're in the space of, you know, you were with a negative energy and you're all about no, and you're meeting somebody here, this is really nice. And I want to jump to the final outcome, because I feel like this Tower energy, clarified by the Eight of Wands, is you making the decision to just let somebody go, let something go from the past. Because the Eight of Wands is really great about great energy for love. Especially having to do with any, like if you've been holding yourself back in the area of love, this is great news for growth. But coming back to the person or the energy that you're dealing with in the near future, we have the Ace of Swords. This is another really good energy. And this is about getting over past obstacles and getting what you want, and thoughts becoming things, or they're getting what they want, right? And that's being clarified though by the King of Wands. And here we go again with this energy of, yeah, I mean, they're going to be in the space where they want to protect themselves, express themselves, rather, but this idea of perfectionism. This idea of perfectionism. So I have to tell you what I'm getting here. Oh, there's going to be some trouble here. It does seem like. Yeah, because for those of you in relationship, you definitely want to have this fresh new start, right? And you're there. You're having the communication, you're opening up yourself, you know, you're lifting any blocks that are in your way, all of that. They're in this space where they want to get over past obstacles, but yet they're being very particular about something that's rubbing you the wrong way, where they're saying that something needs to be a certain way. It's this idea of perfectionism, but there's also this idea of wanting to be a free spirit. So some of you may be like with somebody who is, again, not, you know, the fact that we got the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Swords here as the final outcome, the Seven of Swords here, this confusion and this desire to be free. I feel like there's a lot of lip service going on here, not to be repetitive, but where they're not telling you the full truth. It's almost like they're trying to project something onto you, though. With this King of Wands energy, they want to be a free spirit, and so because of that, they need to establish some sort of distance within the relationship, and they're using an excuse of something not being a particular way to create the distance, rather than being honest. And I feel like that's when you're going to be like, bye, right? I mean, right? With this full moon in Pisces in your 7th house. But then clarifying that, we have this Eight of Wands. My goodness, Virgo, I almost feel like you might be getting back with somebody else that you were with before this. Because the Eight of Wands is really good news about love, especially if you've been separated for a while. Not like in a relationship now, but for a while. Like somebody coming back from the past. Others of you, this could just be like your phone blowing up, right? People asking you for, you know, lots of dates coming in, lots of dates, busy, busy, busy. And what's going on with them? We have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles, this is an earth energy, a very auspicious card for them being shown how to achieve what it is that they want in the relationship in order for it to be more stable. And them having this epiphany. And then we have the Expect the Unexpected card here. It's unpredictable energy, sudden truths coming out, underlying conflicts being exposed. So for some, this can be confusing as hell. It's like, I don't even know what to do with this information that they're telling me right now. Others of you, it's going to be a huge relief. So you're going to have to wait for things to settle before you really make a solid move here with whatever ends up coming in. Because I almost feel like what I'm feeling like, especially because Neptune rules your 7th house, and Neptune, like I said before, does it indicate like this idea of dissolving things, and you at the same time, you're going to be recognizing your worth. So I feel like you saying bye and then being like, wait a minute, no, I'm realizing what it is that I want. So it's like this recognition. But depending on where you're at, I don't know if you're going to want to hear it, but that's what we have. And it's just, you know, short period, but that's what seems like is going to be going on when we have this full moon in your relationship. And that relationship sector. So now let's pull for that, because I feel like some of you are in separation. Somebody. I mean, I guess we all are, right? But, right, if you think about it. Since energy can't be destroyed. But anyway, I'm going to pull the top line for you, because these are in separation cards. So I'm going to pull the top line for you and the bottom line for a person that you've been dealing with, that you're in separation with. And then I'm going to connect the energies with an Island Time Wellness Oracle. I don't read oracles in the reverse. Okay. No one ever loved me again the way you did. I never appreciated you until you were gone. So remember now, this is your line, and that's coming from you. But remember, with relationship reads, those of you who know tarot understand, particularly relationship readings can be vice versa, because the energies are so enmeshed. So no one ever loved me again the way you did. I never appreciated you until you were gone. So this could be you towards this person that you're in separation with. And they're saying, I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. Connecting you with some passion here. Insane chemistry. Liking each other equally and having fun. Okay, next up for you. I kept track of you from afar by looking you up online. You're stalking somebody, Virgo. And they're saying, I feel like I abandoned you and myself when we broke up. I want to reconcile. The energy connecting that is not today. Not dealing, not hurt, avoiding a conversation. Still angry. Boundaries. Next one up for you. I have awakened to our connection. I know we have a timeless bond between us. For their card, I cheated on you out of real... I cheated you... No, I didn't cheat on you. Hold on. I misread that. I cheated you out of real love. I ghosted you because of my own insecurities. Kisses, connecting you. Unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. It just seems like very poor communication here. Okay, for you finally, can you let go of the past and forgive me? Can you trust me again with your heart? And for them, it's easier being with someone from my world. Engagement ring is connecting you. Commitment. It's easier being with someone from my world. That's a cop-out. I mean, it is. I mean, that might be true, but that has nothing to do with love. Here. Okay. I miss the peace I used to feel with you before all of this. I never meant to make you feel like you don't matter. Please stop blaming me for everything. We are both in the wrong. This relationship makes me feel bad about myself. You're too hard on me. Okay. So these are the energies that I see kind of being felt through here. It does seem like there's still a lot of emotion. It does seem like there's a lot of misunderstanding that's going on here. There's also some recognition, but because there's still anger and there's so much passion, it seems like things need to breathe right now. But I would not be surprised if in this Mercury retrograde, it kind of comes back around. I just would not be surprised at that for you guys, you know. But what I like about this, though, because Mercury is retrograde in your second house in Libra, your value system is going to mean a lot to you. And I don't mean to say like you're not going to be willing to compromise. You're not going to be willing to sell yourself out or sell yourself short. And there's a big difference. So I do like that if this does come back around. Okay, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this helped in some way. Have a beautiful next couple of weeks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.